Well, for those of you that don't know me, I think everybody in here does. My name's Clay Jones. I'm the principal here, 6 years. So I told the other group, like, you know, I'm a tenured principal around here these days because there's only 2 other guys I know that have lasted longer in the last couple decades, and that's Father Norman and Norm Allred. So I'm on a roll. I just got to keep plugging away. I got 2 more years, and I'll beat out Norm. And I'm not sure, was Father Norman 9 years? Is that right? No, don't go there. Although my wife may sometimes want me to go and be a priest and get me out of the house. So my theme this year, our retreat, and kind of the theme that I'm upholding this year is that the bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity. Perfect timing, right? I definitely have had more challenges this year than ever in the 6 years that I've been here. And it has been difficult, but I am so glad to have your students back on campus because I've told others, you know, I do this job because of the kids and to see them, you know, and so it's difficult to do this job and not be able to see them every day and be at the hallway at the end of the day, saying hi, seeing their smiling faces and throwing candy at them, right, of course, but, you know, just seeing little successes out of them and seeing them smile. If you don't have that, it kind of really flattens the affect of everybody here on campus because you know it brings energy when we have the kids in the building, and so it's been awesome having them back, even though there's been some rocky things that we've had to deal with over the last couple of days. I'm going to start out. I'm going to ask a little trivia question. I don't think Lisa's allowed to answer this one because I know she knows the answer, but who knows when the St. Joseph schools were established here in Ogden? What year was that? Does anybody remember? I'll give you a couple hints. We are the oldest school in Utah. The last Battle of Crazy Horse happened this year. Rutherford B. Hayes was took the oath of office this same year, 18 something. What's that?
68.
Well, pretty close.
71.
71's a little low.
75.
Closer. Somebody's going to get it. Huh?
82.
It's in the 70s. 77. 1877 was when the St. Joseph Schools were established here in Ogden. And the high school here was established in 1954 and by some Holy Cross sisters and Dominican priests. And I always love to do a little history. I'm a history guy, so you know. Really excited to start the new year. The summer was a little longer than we expected, and even maybe for you guys as well, being at home with your kids. But there was a lot of planning that took place. It was difficult, but I think, you know, we got the protocols out to everyone. And I got to tell you, the students have done an awesome job coming back, wearing their mask, being, you know, prepared for classes. And, you know, we've got one-way hallways, we've got the mask, we've got them social distancing. And I got to hand it to all of you guys that they're doing a really good job. I better knock on wood because I'll jinx myself. But they are really doing a good job. And I think they're all really glad to be back. And I think that's what lends itself to that. Changes to our schedule. So we did go to a block schedule. We did that for a few reasons, but a couple of them are less transition times during the day, during the school day. Gives us a chance to put the kids in class, and we're not like a elementary school where we can move a teacher to the class. We have kids at all different levels. They go to all different classes. So this really helped with transition times in between classes. Helped us to be able to clean a little bit better in between. Gave a little bit more transition time because some of the kids are right next door to their next class, but they got to go out and go one way down the hallway, go outside the building, and go all the way around. And they get mad at me for it, but they still do it. So it's okay. They're getting used to it, and it didn't take very long. You know, I had a couple of them that kind of gave me ugly looks the first day when they had to go out and go all the way around, but they're pretty good now. So the schedule's been really beneficial. But it's an hour and a half, and so that's a long time to be in a class sometimes for the kids. The teachers are really kind of getting used to trying to differentiate what they're doing during that time period. They essentially get more time with the students through the week, though. They get more minutes with the students than what they were before. So that's a benefit, especially given our circumstance. Naviance and Raise.me, for those of you, I think everybody in here is probably fairly familiar with those two programs that we have in place, but Rosa Bobbin and JJ Miller, our counselors, are the ones that you will talk to. Some of you guys have already talked to them probably at some point about getting your students' accounts on Naviance and on Raise.me. Naviance is our software that helps students go out and look at different colleges and universities, helps them determine what are the standards that these universities are upholding to get in, how many kids are applying, what are my chances? If I only have a 25 ACT, am I really going to be able to get into Stanford? And so it really gives them a reality check, but also helps guide them into, do I want to go to a bigger college? Do I want to go to an urban college? Do I want to go to a really small college? Do I want to go to a Catholic college? And so it gives them all that information and helps guide them, hey, what majors do they offer? Because I want to be an engineer, then there's some schools I probably don't want to go to. It gives them all that information. It also helps you in guiding them in where they want to go, okay? So Rose, if they haven't reached out, some of you have younger students that are only freshmen or sophomores. They still are getting their account put on Naviance and still working on different things, but it's a little bit less intense as a freshman and sophomore because it's more, what are your interests? What do you want? Where do you want to go? What kind of things are you thinking you want to do? And then as you get to be a sophomore and junior, we start ramping it up quite a bit, okay? But if you have questions about that, Rose and JJ are the ones you should go to and ask them when you have any questions at all about that kind of stuff. Pretty proud of where our kids have been going the last few years. This past year, Naval Academy, Coast Guard Academy, Johns Hopkins, Elite Art School up in Rhode Island. We've had some really big successes for our students, and that's because of their hard work. We'll give them the map. They got to get there, right? They do the work, but we're going to give them the tools that they need, and we'll put anybody anywhere in the country, and we pride ourselves on that, And so ask about Naviance if you haven't. Raise.me, a little bit different program, but really important. Sorry, it's probably my wife wanting me. But really important program that we have, that we offer for all of our students to get on as freshmen. They start putting in their grades, they start putting in their service, they start putting in the sports and activities they're involved in, and then that program, they start putting in universities that they may be interested in going to, and it will tell them what kind of micro scholarships are available for them. They got an A in an AP course, $300. They did this certain service project, $500. And it starts to add up. In fact, I have a incoming junior, a soccer player. He has over $300,000 in scholarship money to various universities already. And he hadn't even finished his junior year. So the importance of that is it gives you guys as consumers information, right? The program itself doesn't have every college and university across the United States. It has about 300. And the importance of that is, and I always like to tell this story because it's important. We had a cross-country runner about 3 years ago? Mary Claire? 4 years ago? It's all running together, 6 years. That was applying to a couple of universities. She was interested in running cross-country, but Regis University in California was going to give her about $85,000 in scholarship money. She'd also applied at Westminster, closer to home, a little bit smaller school, but they weren't giving her that kind of money. So her mom and her, after they were on Raise Me, they knew how much money Regis was going to give her, and so they went to Westminster and said, hey, this is what Regis is going to do for us. Is there anything that you guys have that's similar? Can you do anything? So yes, and so she's going for free, ran cross country for them, and has had a really good college career there. Free education is best education, in my opinion. I know you guys are paying, but that's what we hope for all of your students as well. We want to try to put them in a position to be really successful when they move on. All right. Any questions about change of schedule, raise meeting, ambiance? Again, those are some questions. Those are all things you can ask Rose and JJ. They'll be happy to help you out, navigate your student through those, and help them get their accounts set up, and help them to start really getting some real good information for you and for themselves as far as where they want to go. All right? Okay, another trivia question. How about that? What benefactor of St. Joseph donated the land that this building is on? There's also a library on campus in his name.
Browning.
Val Browning, yes. Browning Rifles. I didn't even have to give one of his. So Val Browning actually set up an endowment that we still benefit from. We have a couple of kids that get some scholarship money from that, that endowment, as well as invest in our science programs. So our science teachers, unlike some of the others, sorry, Ms. Barker, get $20,000 pretty much every year to invest in different equipment or things that they need for science. So it's kind of nice. Lunch policy changed a little this year. No more salad bar. I miss that. I always like the salad bar. But other than that, there's not a whole lot of changes. But for those of you that are new, we always offer your students hamburgers, grilled cheese, soup bowls, fruit bowls. We are doing individually packaged salads as well. And then in addition to that, you probably saw the menus that go out that offer each day of the week has a different item, whether that be pizza from Taboo or whether it be Chick-fil-A, and you just pick those for the students. But we don't have a salad bar anymore. It's too bad. RenWeb and Canvas. So this is probably the biggest change that we've had. Other than the protocols that we're following, this has been the biggest change and transition that we've had as a school this year. We did have to transition a little quicker, more like light speed, to this remote learning model, the blended learning model than what we had anticipated originally. But so far, it's been okay. It's been a little rocky when your Wi-Fi goes out on the first day of the first morning that you're putting all your international students and all the ones that are doing remote learning on. But we're getting through it. And Chuck Veland, who is our tech guy, has been kind enough to set up shop here for us. He's going to be here for the next couple weeks while we're getting up and running and help troubleshoot any issues that we have. So the Wi-Fi needs some new equipment. Of course, we find out the first day that we're doing remote learning. It's just Murphy's Law, right? So it hasn't been without its problems, but Canvas is going to be a great tool for all of you. Canvas, the teachers should have their class on Canvas. They should be using Big Blue Button for all of the classes. We have about 12 or 15 students that are doing remote learning, whether that's an international student that is in China or Vietnam, or whether it's a student that's at risk that decided to stay home because they may have a parent or a grandparent or even them that is a little bit more susceptible to COVID. So if you go to Canvas, it has all of your students' classes there. All the teachers, eventually, it's not yet, we had some troubleshooting, our G Suite went down the week before too. That was awesome. So we had some technical difficulties getting up and running, but everything is up and running now, and the teachers are going to try to get a week in advance on Canvas so that you can see what assignments are coming up for your students, okay? RenWeb is still a really important part of you guys being able to communicate with teachers as far as grades are concerned and that kind of thing, and Canvas and RenWeb are now talking to each other. So we've managed to integrate them, but there's still little bugs that we're figuring out, so just be a little bit patient with us. I know we'll get it figured out here pretty soon. Any questions on Canvas or the remote learning, the blended learning? And I did have a question earlier that maybe some of you guys are asking yourselves, do they have to have a Chromebook or a computer in class? They don't have to, but there are going to be assignments, especially math, where you're using ALEX as one of the platforms for doing math, or MathXL, that they can get homework done, they can do work on those. We have Chromebooks that they can check out during those class periods if they don't have a device. So you don't have to go run out and get a $1,000 MacBook for them. That we have that available to them, okay? So one of the things I always have to emphasize, and I know we're in an age of technology and we're moving more and more towards that. As long as I'm principal here, we're going to still have a traditional school that teaches, with a teacher up in front of you. We're not going to be an online school, all right? I just want to assure everybody that, because there was a lot of people that asked me that when we started doing some of this blended stuff. And I'm traditional myself. And there is nothing like a kid actually writing down notes and learning from that. And being able to, when you write it, you learn it better. You just do. And there's plenty of research out there that says it, you know. And these kids are getting inundated with technology all over the place. So we want to limit the exposure that we're giving them ourselves to. All right, another trivia question. What year was this black box and fine arts building completed? Arnold Schwarzenegger was elected governor that year. Apple launched iTunes that year. And Finding Nemo came out. No guesses at all? Close. 05, 04 is close. Nope. 03. 2003 is when this building was completed. And the reason for this building being constructed was that the school was looking for where should we invest to try and increase our enrollment. They decided the arts was that place. So this beautiful black box was built. We put $150,000 into this thing a couple years ago. Did Mary Poppins. It was the best, asked a couple of people know what I'm talking about. It was the best performance that the school has ever seen. It was the biggest crowds the school's ever seen. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. We did have kids flying across the top of the grid, and that was a little scary as a principal, but it was awesome. It was great. I loved it. Handbook. There haven't been really many changes in the handbook. The biggest changes are the remote learning kind of regulations and rules that I sent out to you in a newsletter and an email. Hopefully I didn't inundate you too much, but I just wanted to make sure the information got out, because there were a couple of people that said, I didn't get any of that. And I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna send it out some more. So that's the biggest change really this year. As far as the students, our handbook itself hasn't changed a whole lot. We'll be putting those updates into the handbook hopefully within the next week or so, but just know that pretty much everything is the same as it has been before. I know that you guys love reading the handbook, like reading, you know, fun, exciting, yeah. Lands End is still providing uniforms. If you don't know, there's a website link on our website that gets you to that. If you need any assistance with that, we're happy to help. And then finally, the protocols that were all sent out to everyone. Those are a little bit new too, but again, the kids have been doing an awesome job of following those protocols, and it's been really good. So hopefully they say the same thing to you when they come home. All right, one more question. What movie did we show this past Friday night on the soccer field? Kung Fu Panda. It was a lot of fun, by the way. And the kids had a blast. It was nice and cool. It was a perfect night. Unlike last year when we did the drive-in movie for the juniors and seniors, the wind wasn't blowing the screen all over the place, and I'm trying to hold it into place. It turned out great, and the SBOs hope to do that a couple more times this year, so look for that. All right, so service projects right now are kind of uncertain. We're hoping to get back with CCS. We're hoping to get back to doing Bridging the Gap. We're hoping to get back into the warehouse and help them sorting food and things like that. But right now, they're not allowing any of that at any of the service organizations that we work with. So it's a little bit of a challenge right now, trying to figure out what we're going to do, especially our senior service project that'll be coming up in this the winter semester, second semester beginning. We'll figure it out, and I'll communicate that to you as soon as we know. But the uncertainty is just kind of put it on hold. And you know, Bridging the Gap is one of my favorite projects that we do here at St. Joe's with CCS. It's an awesome thing. And it breaks my heart that we can't do it, but we'll wait and see, you know, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to it next semester. There will be some adjustments to service hours for students because we're going to have to do something in that realm for them. All right, Peggy Barker is the only teacher I have on staff this year. She will teach all of your students all the time. all the teachers, I kind of just told them, because there were still a lot of parents here and there that were talking to a lot of the teachers, so I told them to stay in their rooms, and that you guys can just go around and introduce yourselves and find those guys. There's Rosa Bobbin. She's a counselor. She's a one-man show. She'll take care of all your counseling needs. She'll help you with Navient. She'll help you with all those kind of things. So seek her out. She can answer a lot of good questions. She is a godsend as far as I'm concerned for our staff. A great addition. And she's been around. She knows St. Joe's. She knows our community. She probably knows a lot of you guys already. So talk to her. She really knows a lot about senior planning as well for getting ready for college and things. Griselda Podaraki is over in the main building, okay, right near the office. She is there to give you guys your student schedules. So she'll print those off to you. I didn't know how many people were going to show up. We actually had a pretty good crowd in the first one. This isn't bad either. So I'm happy that we were able to get as many people here as we were able to. And welcome. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And hopefully your students are happy being back. From my perspective, they love it. They don't like wearing a mask. Who does? None of us do. But they are doing a great job. So I will leave you at that. If you guys want to ask me questions, feel free to come up, ask me questions, anything that you need. But otherwise, I'll let you go get your schedules from Ms. Podaraki, and you can walk around and see all the teachers. All right? Thanks, you guys.